Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. It's the fifth day of the Southasia Lectures 2025, and it's hard to believe that we're about halfway through this series that uh, I, for one, have been looking forward to for a long time. Oh, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and we're halfway through now. Uh, Today, we're going to hear about the Maldives from Dr. Abdullah Naseer, and I'm going to introduce him now. Dr. Abdullah Naseer earned a PhD in biology at Dalhousie University, Halifax, Canada. His thesis was on the integrated growth response of coral reefs to environmental forcing, morphometric analysis of coral reefs of the Maldives. His professional focus has been on coral reef biology, ecology, and management, study of large-scale processes affecting coral reef formation and growth characteristics, environmental impact assessment on coral reefs, and management, conservation, and policy development for coral reef ecosystems. Dr. Naseer started his career at the Maldives Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Research Center and has occupied significant and impactful positions in research and government, culminating in his tenure from 2018 to 23 as Minister of State for Environment, Maldives. In this role, he oversaw the functions relating to environmental management at the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Technology. This included providing political and technical guidance and directions to manage environmental issues, particularly those relating to the conservation of biodiversity and protected area management. Dr. Naseer has authored several conference presentations, papers, journal articles, and government reports. He has contributed to and participated in the development of over 20 environmental impact assessment reports relating to developments on coral reefs. Dr. Naseer, over to you. You have the floor. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajgopalan. That was a good introduction. I hope I will be able to tell you all a bit about the Maldives, the climate issues that we have, the policies behind the government and others. So it is. Thank you for the opportunity for sharing what we have learned from the Maldives. I have a presentation that I would share. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, first of all, let me give you a bit of background on about the Maldives. Listening to the presentations in the past few days, I have come to realize how different we are. Well, different in the sense that the systems that we live in, from highlands to mountains to now we are at the lowest level, if you like. So it may be difficult to understand and comprehend sometimes even the type of systems that we live in that relates to the climate issues that we have. So for the Maldives, it is a group of atolls and reefs that are not very far from India and Sri Lanka in the middle of the Indian Ocean. We have we have we have many atolls, about 22 atolls, out of which 16 are what I would like to call complex atolls, which I would explain a bit later on. And they range in size from 43 kilometers square kilometers to 3,800 square kilometers. So you can see the range of these atolls. And then there are simple atolls, sometimes oceanic reefs, but the total reef system of the Maldives constitutes about 2,000 reefs ranging from a kilometer to 80 kilometers in size. And the most important of these reefs are the 1,200 or so coral islands that we live on, and also use it for other industrial purposes. By the way, the Maldives, if I don't think you know, but the Maldives also has the largest of the two atolls in the whole world. That is also something to talk about, I guess. And here I have given a diagram to show the different coral reef structures that we have. And here, if you, sorry, let me, oops, sorry, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so these are all the coral reef structures that I have arranged in no particular order, just to show the scale of and the sizes of these structures. When it comes to climate, the monsoons, the Indian monsoons, are the driving force of climate in the Maldives. I say this because not many people talk about the monsoons and how they impact the climate. While we all know that the monsoons affect us in different ways, agriculture purposes and water, rain, and for everything we depend on. And also the monsoons affect us. But for the Maldives, it affects us in a totally different way, because the monsoons have been studied and known in the Maldives for generations, and we have cultural and localized names, and we also have many people knowing a lot about monsoons and how they affected the way they live. So it is very important for us in the Maldives to talk about climate and monsoon, climate and how monsoons affect our climate very very thoroughly. And the Indian Ocean hydrodynamics in the form of waves and swells and the distant storms also affect us in a similar way. But the driving force, as I said, are the two monsoons, the northeast monsoon and the southwest monsoon, which I will talk about in a bit. And when it comes to our responses to the hydrodynamics, it's all about coral reef management rather than coastal management. It's difficult for us to define coastal management in a country, in a small island nation scattered with very small reefs. And so it's better, in my point of view, it's better to talk about coral reef management and how we go about managing the reefs. And its biodiversity and how we live on it, because these impacts are very widespread. And the monsoons also, importantly, we have to understand that they reverse every 6 to 8 months. And we have a lot of activities in the Maldives, starting from fishing to many other activities that are very related to the northeast and southwest monsoons. And later on, I will show you how the arrangement of the atolls and the hydrodynamics of the ocean and how the monsoons force the monsoon forcing, um, how they can be categorized, and also impacts can be how those impacts can be measured even uh, according to the monsoons. So let me do that by explaining, by showing you a schematic diagram of the Maldives. I mean, here I have shown you the atolls in diagrammatic forms, and then there are a double line of atolls in the center. So that is from 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and also 18, 17, 13. So this is in the central area of the Maldives, we have a double line of atolls, and enclosing also an inner sea. And the depth of the ocean here on either side of the Maldives is about 2,000 meters, while in the inner sea it's about 500 meters, and inside the atolls it's yet very shallow at about 30 to 70 meters. So I wanted to show you this because the double chain and the single chains and the Maldives inner sea and creates monsoon gradients when the monsoon blows from the northeast. It affects the eastern side, and when the monsoon blows from the southwest, it affects the west side. And you can, I have been when I did my research on my PhD, this is what I did. I mean, I measured the monsoon forcing functions on different sites and related them to how reefs grow with respect to these monsoon forcing. And we can imagine that if the monsoons have been blowing like this for millions of years, as far as we know, and they must have had a great impact climatically over the last many millennia on the growth of these structures. And this is a diagram of one single atoll, where you have, just to show you the structures within an atoll. You know, you have the lagoon, you have the lagoon reefs, you have the deep passes inside the atoll, and then you have the rim reefs. And this is an individual reef where you saw different zones of a reef. And why I'm showing all this is to make you appreciate and understand how the creation of this huge biological structure, which you call the Maldives, there is nothing not biological here. There's everything here is built of coral reefs, corals, and related calcareous animals. So it's important to understand how this may have happened, or how this may have developed over millions of years. As far as we know from research, we know that the coral reef systems in the Indian Ocean, starting from the hotspot in the Reunion and up to the Deccan Plateau in India, you know, we know that these structures are as old as 50 to 60 million years old. And but we have to know how the atolls and reefs have developed on these volcanic structures in order to understand our climate and how the changes impact us better. So this is just to give the morphologies that are created while the reefs have been growing upwards. There is something called the slope of the reef, the crest of the reef, the rubble sand areas, sand flats, lagoons, seagrass beds, and vegetated islands. And you can very nicely see these zonations on individual reefs when you look at them from space, actually. And then I wanted to show you different types of reefs which show similar structures like that. So sometimes these can be very dramatic, but they are all created with monsoon-related wave action and also other Indian Ocean storms related surges. And these are the hydrodynamic forcing that drives the growth of these biological structures. Okay, so my conclusion from what I have shown is that the reefs on the Western Ocean rims and those facing the Southern Indian Ocean swells have differentiated, like wider reef flats, wider reef slopes, and also crests than those on the Eastern Rim and those facing the Maldives Inner Sea. Which actually means that the monsoons that impact the monsoon waves that impact the reefs on east and west are driving driving the growth of these reefs upwards and also outwards. Okay, when you say Maldives, everybody relates that to sea level rise, and we all know very well. As soon as you say the Maldives, the first thing that comes to your mind is whether these islands will disappear in a few decades or yeah, in the next 50 or 60 years, and that is the information that we have level predicted. I can confidently say that we aren't losing islands, so to speak, due to sea level rise. But there are other things happening at the same time that we need to be more worried about. Islands in the Maldives have disappeared sometimes after a big storm, after a few storms. Heavy wave action can impact islands very much. And so it's not only sea level rise that may impact islands, but extreme weather and island erosion is continuously a thing that happens due to the monsoonal changes. But currently, what we have here are issues that we as a small country, we do not have any means of attending to that. We are at the mercy of the global do anything ourselves in order to. We can say that the climate change has intensified storm surges due to and coastal flooding, and so those major issues that we have. We have had back-to-back coral bleaching, uh, which has affected a lot of reefs and reefs,
Dr. Naseer, your
in
voice is
decline.
breaking up.
We ourselves can do very. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm
Would you
a
want
bit
to
too.
simplify the background? Maybe the connectivity will be better.
Oh, okay. I don't think there will be any more of those heavy graphics anymore.
Sounds better.
Uh, is it better now?
Yes,
Yeah. Can I carry on? Okay.
please.
So yes, as I said, coral bleaching is one instant which is related to increases in global temperatures, and that we have been an advocate to on this at various fora all over the world. But it is something, it is an existential threat, and that's what I would like to say is that there are more important things that we can address ourselves rather than wait for international action to happen. For example, water in islands like the Maldives, coral islands, there is a limited amount of water. The aquifer that is regenerated by the monsoon rains, for example. And so as there are small islands, and the aquifer is limited, it doesn't develop anywhere. And if you go on using, or if the sea level keeps rising, then either the water aquifers get exhausted, or they become too saline for us to use it as anything else. And what we have been able to do ourselves is that the Maldives, as an adaptation, the government provides now desalinated water to many of the islands. But these are, so the water that we use in most of the islands, especially in Malé, the capital island, for example, is seawater, desalinated water, and that is a very expensive process. But that is the only way we can adapt and live on these islands. And for climate policies, we have been very active on the global climate meetings. We have talked about we have also worked on championing the 1.5 degrees climate targets, for example, and we have been adopting ambitious emissions and adaptation policies as well, to inspire global action, but and also leading the coalitions of small islands, developing states, and going as a group in negotiations at the various climate conferences. We have also have a lot of national adaptation programs that as I said, that we can do ourselves. Coastal protection systems, water management in almost you can imagine people live on 200 islands in the Maldives, and they are scattered over a very large area, and on some of the islands there may be a few hundred people living, and on other islands there may be many thousands population. But at the same time, we have to provide all the necessary infrastructure like coastal protection, harbors, safe housing, and everything. So these are the kinds of policies that we have to think about. Whether and whether we can continue living like this is a different issue. But the government does have population consolidation programs which are very useful to address climate issues. The other issue that we sometimes have is the reclamation and island infrastructure development for people. This are also climate related, and if the best protection that we can have is this type of hard engineered coastal protection solutions. We have many of these installed, like the capital island of Malé in the Maldives now is totally protected by this type of tetrapod walls around. And that is very effective in protecting the island from swells and flooding. And but here we have the coastal structures placed all around the island of Malé in the Maldives, the capital island in the country. But installing such structures, apparently a square meter of, not a square meter, but a linear meter of these costs from $10,000 to $15,000 apparently. And this was kindly donated by the Japanese government, this structure around the capital island of Malé. And this is the best we can do in the face of climate change. But when we live on 200 islands, such islands, it is impossible financially or otherwise to build such complex structures, hard engineered structures all around the islands, as you can see. You can see the scale of this, but it was very well. This was very well tested during the 2004 tsunami, and during the tsunami came from this side, but the island was well protected by this seawall all around it, and it was one of the few islands that weren't affected much. Even we didn't lose any infrastructure on this island because of these seawalls all around the island. So that definitely is the best adaptation that you can have for that. But unfortunately, we will not be able to. We may not be able to do this for each and every island, and this is not the solution that we have. When it comes to climate change and security, we have to understand that climate threatens housing, livelihoods, public health, and even internal migration between islands. So human security is an issue. And at the same time, we have infrastructure that are the Maldives is reliant on tourism, and we have already seen what climate change can do for this sort of infrastructure, and so that is also something we have to worry about when it comes to climate issues. Of course, we may also because sometimes uh, lots of islands can also affect lots of islands and land can also affect territorial integrity as well. And these are also some of the issues that we have. We are also part of the international community when it comes to, we also have, we are part of the multilateral funds that are, and there is a lot of adaptation work going on in the Maldives through these funds. As I just mentioned, the bilateral assistance that we have for coastal protection is also around, but it may not be sufficient to address each and every island that we live on. So there are lots of challenges, but challenges due to dispersed geography and also changing political priorities sometimes. We are criticized a lot for land reclamation. As we speak, even the government has many dredging projects, reclamation projects. But these are, the government feels necessary to address not only forecasted climate issues, but at the same time, when we build artificial islands, we have a lot of experience. The Maldives has a lot of experience in building artificial islands close to Male, the capital. There is an island called Hulu Male, which is already claimed to be raised 1 meter above, and the future planned developments are also planned in a way that they will be raised in order to address the sea level forecasts that we have. So for future directions, we have to continue developing climate resilient infrastructure. It's interesting to note that at our most expensive resorts in the Maldives, most people prefer to live on water. We also can claim that we have 5,000 square kilometers of very shallow lagoons compared to about 300 square kilometers of dry land. So, but we don't have any. I don't think the government has any plans for allowing people to live on water other than resorts, very expensive water villas that people live in. But these are the kinds of things that, or floating cities. These are also some things that some policy events that we have been talking about. And we different And ecosystem-based adaptation is also something that we have started uh, to practice. Coral, we have lost a lot of coral reefs to coral bleaching, as I said, but we have also started countrywide restoration programs with respect to reviving corals and coral reefs. It is also important to know that we live on coral reefs, and we live on systems that are created by corals. So we have understood quite a long time ago the importance of protecting corals, and so the coral mining, for example, is completely banned in the Maldives, and it's one of the few countries where corals are banned altogether, including a lot of other reef-associated animals as well. So we are doing what we can, but what I would like to say is that that may not be enough in the event of the forecasted climate changes that we have. The communities can also do so much, but we do encourage local communities and local councils to take care of the environment better, and allow local communities to take decisions themselves, and also empower them in adapting to climate change. So in conclusion, I would say that for the Maldives, the climate policy is fundamentally a security strategy as well. Sea level rise, ecosystem degradation, and extreme weather pose threats not only to environmental health, but also to national sovereignty and economic stability and human well-being. Our proactive climate diplomacy, very ambitious renewable energy goals and adaptation initiatives reflect both necessary and leaderships. Ultimately, our future depends on a combination of domestic resilience and international support, I would say, and global successes in reducing emissions to keep warming within survivable limits, I would think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This was really fascinating, and I was thinking of how imaginatively both geography and biology could be taught in school so that more of us study these subjects instead of just learning by rote. I think everything, so many different pieces of what we have learned come together in a narration like this. Thank you. There are already two questions in the chat, Dr. Naseer.
Yes.
I will read them out one by one. From Emre
Mhm.
Asad, we have a question. Given that climate change has moved from an environmental issue to a geopolitical issue and geoeconomic challenge, do you think the policy focus should shift more towards EMIC, community driven solutions, rather than relying mainly on macro level climate policies?
Yes, I agree. Um, the thing is, we live on 200 separate islands, uh, which are scattered all around. So we have two levels, maybe more than that, but we have two levels of policy driven management. We have the atoll level where we have an atoll doing their bit, but then we also have island councils which do. Uh, but here in the Maldives, I think it's good to learn from other similar coral reef nations. But unfortunately, we don't have that kind of global partnerships for. Um, we may have small island developing states, we I think we need for countries like the Maldives, we also need to practice policy issues in a similar sort of environment. But we may have island councils and atoll councils uh, with respect to naturally formed atolls. But this might not be the same in other nations where we may have nothing to learn from that. But for the moment, the climate issues are driven very centrally by the government, and we expect the islands to the island councils and island infrastructure to be attended by the respective communities and councils, but which may take some time for us to get there, I would think. What was the second question?
The second question is from Riddhi Chakrabarti. What exactly is looked for in global alliance? Is it just funding?
Sorry?
What exactly is looked for in global alliance, which you've mentioned in a couple of slides? Is it just funding?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay. We for we have something called locally. The best thing we have is what we have is we have something called green tax, which is levied on every tourist arriving in the Maldives. Is paid required to pay. I think it's now it's $6 to $8 per night, per bed night, which is collected by the government for environmental management, including climate issues and others. Protection of islands, coastal protection, safer islands, safer harbors, and everything. So that is the best we have at the moment in terms of financing. But we also have we are part of the other multilateral funds. That's what I was trying to say. Multilateral funds that provide funding for adaptation.
There's a comment from Rakhi Surya Prakash. Thank you so much. Learning about a completely different ecosystem that is Maldives. Sonu Tiwari has a comment too, no, and a question. Thank you for your presentation. The structural mitigation measures, such as seawalls and embankments, have not always provided adequate protection for coastal communities in India. Could you please share some best practices from the Maldives that might serve as effective adaptation strategies for the future?
Yes, I was trying to address through our understanding of monsoons, how they blow, how they impact, how they impact differentially in different parts. For example, the Malay seawall that I showed in that slide, that is almost all around Malay, but it is more concentrated on the area which receives the highest wave action on the west side, and they have studied the environment and come to design the coastal structures in a way that uh, in whatever weather conditions uh, they may have. As I told you, the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004 also was able to be protected. In that uh, event, also the island was protected very well by and that was a very good test. But I'm sure there are design there are coastal uh, designs that you can. But of course, a coral reef environment where where you have monsoon or swell generated waves may not be the same as another more active coastline. But I strongly believe that that is the only way you can keep the people and infrastructure protected in the event of climate-related disasters, actually.
Um, from Rabi Samal, we have a comment. Thank you for a great presentation. Instead of going for hard engineering, you may stress upon the soft engineering solution. Dr. Rajadarshini Patra says, thank you, sir. Dr. Anbara Begum asks, thank you, Dr. Naseer, for such an informative presentation, quite unique. I would like to know how you manage communication between these islands in times of severe climatic disruptions.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of soft solutions, I am very skeptical about the some of the softer measures that can be taken in order to protect the islands. For example, there may be a lot of merit in protecting coastal areas with mangrove rehabilitation and other types of softer measures. But again, I have to say that in the Maldives, for example, in Coral Island, we also do have mangroves and shallow seagrass beds, which effectively may address coastal issues, coastal protection, may afford some sort of protection. But the type of mangroves that we have in the Maldives are not fringent type protective mangroves, but they are mostly depression type mangroves. And when the sea reaches the mangroves, they will wash away the mangrove areas altogether. So for small island situations, uh, they may not afford uh, much of a protection. But we can immediately see that if you visit one of these smaller islands and how the whole system is. But we also at the same time sometimes when you have these issues, you gather as a meeting or a conference and you talk about coastal issues, protective measures. But and time again, I mean, you come up with it is not easy for, yes, I said, to people to set up expensive hard coastal measures, but it is mostly, yeah, it comes in the form of coastal protection, mangrove rehabilitation, coastal rehabilitation, coral reef rehabilitation. These are things that we can do. And we also have many NGOs working in the Maldives on similar strategies, actually. We have established protected areas, islands with large mangrove areas have been protected. And the rehabilitation work is being done by the community through various NGOs.
There's a follow-up question from Riddhi Chakrabarti.
Mhm.
Is it city tax going for environmental protection?
Sorry, I didn't
Is
get
city
that.
tax is city tax going for environmental protection? Okay.
Yes, the it is called green tax here in the world. Green tax.
Green tax. Okay.
Yeah, it is used for yeah, environmental issues mainly, but it may vary from providing waste management services to islands, from or providing desalinated water to islands that have exhausted their water table altogether, and so a variety of environment related, and also many of them could also be coastal protection measures in the form of better, safer harbors on islands and hard coastal protection measures sometimes. So the green tax, yeah, is used for many such activities, actually, centrally by the
Varun
government.
Varun Mohan asks, most of our adaptations measures are incremental and risk management. Is there any transformational adaptation method practiced in Maldives, especially in line with relocation and planned migration to other parts of the islands?
Yes, there are that happens, but not as often as we or the government would want. I would think, there are islands uh, which are vacated for various purposes and relocated during the tsunami, 2004 tsunami, for example. A lot of islands that were totally destroyed were people were relocated to bigger and safer islands, actually. And there are still, as I said, in the Maldives, people live on about 200 islands, and many of them are extremely small, with very small populations. So the government has a plan for population consolidation, and people are not forced to migrate to any other islands, but they are encouraged by providing
Mhm.
housing and other incentives, for people to move. And I think that will automatically become a uh, part of the climate strategies and in the future.
Aditya Kumar says, thank you for the presentation. I was wondering whether there is a simulation modeling research being done to understand the durability of these structural adaptation measures as climatic uncertainty keeps rising.
Um, we have done a lot of trial and error work, I would think, for coastal protection measures using different types of, and this has been going for more than 100 years in the Maldives. There was a time when we protect islands taking individual coral boulders from the reef, and then setting up a bund wall all around the island. But that has to be repaired almost every year after the monsoon. They will have to repair it. So this repairing also happened in Malé Island, also for a very long time. But so by practicing this sort of protective measures for a long time, we have come to realize that uh, these hard concrete structures around Malé Island, for example, has been already tested in Japan, in many parts of Japan. They have and so it is not just placed here, but they have they were very confident, I would think, that these structures would hold up in the type of impacts that we have here in coral reef environments. So, but we as far as I know, I don't think we have a system for monitoring, testing, and how effective these are for. But we have definitely ruled out some of the uh, structural structures that we used. For example, you can use sandbags, geobags all around, but they will not hold like these hard structures. Um, Although we do not like the hard structures, it is becoming apparent that there needs to be hard solutions, at least for larger centers, larger infrastructure centers, larger community structures, and Male and there's been here in Male and nearby, they have developed another similar structure by dredging and creating an artificial island, which is also protected well through such hard engineering measures. So I think I think we can learn this from the practitioners, and also we in the Maldives have been practicing, for example, or building artificial islands for a very long time. Even many of the land in Male in Male atoll are also reclaimed from the sea, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Many resorts in the Maldives are also being now, but they are required to do proper environmental impact assessments, and the environmental impact assessment reports will have to be um, approved by the environmental agency before doing that. So that is how these have been developing locally here in the Maldives.
Our last question is from Dr. Anwara Begum. What shift in agricultural practice is worth noting in the face of climate stress?
What sort of agricultural?
Shift in agricultural practice.
As you know, we have very little potential for agriculture here in these small islands. And also, traditionally, farming communities are faced now with their water going saline, and they have to now use desalinated water for agricultural development, which is obviously very expensive. To have either your own desalination system or what the government provides. So, uh, but again, this is also something we have to face eventually. But there are still a number of islands with good potential for big islands which have which still continue to have enough groundwater aquifers for so we continue to farm many fruits and vegetables, but 90% of food in the form of everything will be imported into Maldives. So imports represents a big part of our food security.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naseer, for taking the time to do this, for agreeing to do this, and for teaching us so much about the Maldives. You also, I think we assume we know things about each other, and each time we listen to a lecture like this, we also discover the depths of our ignorance. So, thank you for this illuminating talk, and I'm very grateful that you came. Thank you to everybody who attended today and asked questions. Let's see you tomorrow, same place, same time, to listen to a talk on Nepal by Deepak Gyavali, who's one of the most well-known people on the subject of environment. Also, one of the first people I heard talking about these issues almost 30 years ago. So, thank you very much, everyone. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pleasure.